All right, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all glory, honor, and praise unto my power, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. Hey, shalom to all you sincere, the true believers. Right, today's lesson, I got a video. Let me cue it up. Civil War, man. Civil War is, is, brewing up in this in America. Racial tension is high. Tension between different political parties and it's just at I would even go as far as to say damn near at an all-time high, man. If not near the all-time high. So let's go ahead and play this video and just check it out.
There's a lot of turmoil going across the country and the world, honestly, right now.
This country is closer to a civil war.
America is definitely headed to civil war the way things are going.
The United States is moving, not inexorably, but still moving toward civil war.
Right now, people across America are saying the same thing. Something big is coming. Whether you believe we're headed for a civil war or not, the tension out there is real. People are scared. People are angry. And a lot of folks are already preparing. Let's take a look at what some people are saying about this.
There's a lot of turmoil going across the country and the world, honestly, right now. Think about if civil unrest erupts in your area. That would cause a widespread of violence and looting, and authorities are not going to be able to control or maintain order. And your neighborhoods and cities will become so unsafe. Seen this happen time and time again, but the state that these countries and our country is in right now, it would not be a surprise to me if there is a huge civil unrest. Is this something you are prepared for?
This country is closer to a civil war than we have been in our lifetime, our grandparents' lifetime. We are closer to civil war than the last time we went to civil war. And I know all the chronically online people think that that's cool or whatever. Well, I don't even like these people anyway. I don't like liberals. I don't like Republicans, whatever side you're on. I don't think you understand what that means. I don't think you understand the
Right, so let's see what civil war definition is. It says a violent, large-scale, and sustained conflict occurring within a single country between organized groups, right? Such as the government and the insurgents or rival factions, fighting for political control, territory, or policy change. And you see the brewing of all of this within America right now. You got two opposing parties fighting for political control constantly. The Democrats versus the Republicans. Right now, we even have a partial governmental shutdown, whereas though you have the Democrats trying to leverage, this shutdown in their favor, as well as the Republicans trying to leverage the shutdown and to swing things in their political favor, and gain more ground on the political stage, right? So you see, even though it's not an actual physical civil war right now, you see ultimately they're still at war with one another. And we understand what the scriptures say, right? In the book of Mark, let's go ahead and get this. And see, this is all good for us, man. You brothers and sisters, you know what I'm saying? Hey, you seasoned brothers and sisters, you know what I'm saying? Hey, I know this might not terrify y'all, and that's good. It shouldn't, but for brothers, and sisters first coming in, I know how, some brothers and sisters could think well, damn, what does this mean for me? Well, this is good news for you, man, because we have to understand that this place is not our rest, right? This place is not our rest at all. Let me just get it real quick. Micah chapter 2 and verse 10. It says, so let me get that in the KJV, Shalakia. Just wanted to touch it real quick. Right, and then move on. It says, arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest, because it is polluted. It shall destroy you, even with the sword destruction. So this is not our rest, right? We're laboring to enter into that rest. And what's that rest? The kingdom, man, right? But let me go ahead and get this for you in Mark, because you see all of these things, right, happening right now on the political stage, man, right? Right now is pretty much, you could call it a civil war right now, but without weapons, but with political parties and policies and words, this group versus that group, you know what I mean? It's so much tension here in America, man, whether it's race or political parties or those who believe same-sex marriage and those who don't. Like it's the male versus female. Everything is against everything here in society. You see what I'm saying? Right? Gender wars is at a damn near all-time high for real. Right? So much so that red pill is taking off. Right? LGBTQ community. Right? Versus, you know what I'm saying? Like them trying to teach it to the children. And then you got people saying, you better not teach that to my children. America is divided. And it's divided because the Lord is going to destroy America. America is destined for destruction, plain and simple, right? It is an evil nation and it has to pay, right? Mark chapter 3, verse 25, right? It says, and if a house be divided against itself, that house cannot stand. If Satan rise up against himself and be divided, he cannot stand, but have an end, right? And that's the point, man. So ultimately, matter of fact, that's verse 24. I should have got that. It says, if a kingdom be divided against itself, that kingdom cannot stand. And you see that there's no unity here in America, man. There's no kumbaya. There's no Martin Luther King spirit. It ain't none of that. Ain't none of that BS, man. You see what I'm saying? America's cooked, right? And see, this is good for us, man, because hey, this is what we've been waiting for, man. This is exactly what we've been waiting for. You know, more and more of things like this to actually brew up, because we know what prophecy says, man. Right? We know exactly what prophecy says. 2 Ezra chapter 15 and verse 1. Behold, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy, which I will put in thy mouth, saith the Heavenly Father, and cause them to be written in paper, for they are faithful and true. Right? So what are the things that are faithful and true? That America, its sins have reached unto the Heavenly Father, man. And America is getting paid back for its sins by not being a prosperous nation anymore. And for America, that's worse than death, man. Losing it, watching the coveted dollar fall right before their eyes, right? You know what I'm saying? Like to actually witness the fall of something is worse than like damn, or it's like suffering and getting tortured to them versus you just putting a motherfucker out their misery, just blowing their brains out. They got to witness the fall of this great kingdom that once was. You see what I'm saying? And then try every effort to no avail to resuscitate this place. And it just won't work. That's beautiful, man. Perfect torture, right? 2 Ezra chapter 15, and let's start at verse 12. It says, Egypt shall mourn, and we understand that America is likened unto Egypt, Babylon, Nineveh, Sodom and Gomorrah, right? So it says that what, man, right? It says Egypt shall mourn, the foundation of it shall be smitten with the plague and punishment that the Heavenly Father shall bring upon it. Right? It says, woe to the world and them that dwell therein. For the sword in their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, swords in their hands, right? So, you're going to see this with race wars, you know what I'm saying? Even people, you know what I'm saying? Because you're going to have Edomites fighting Edomites, man. You see what I'm saying? Right? We're tired of you damn Democrats. You goddamn liberals. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man. Right? It says, verse 16, for there shall be sedition. Right? You know what sedition means, right? Sedition is right. It says the illegal act of inciting through speech, writing, or organization, rebellion or violence against an established government or authority. And that's exactly what's happening, man. You're seeing sedition right now, man. Right? That sedition is happening. Yeah, there was a movement that was real popular just a couple months ago. It's called the No Kings movement. Right? That if that's not spiritual, then I don't know what is, man. Showing that No Kings movement was basically a biblical right here, where it says they shall not regard their kings nor princes. No kings. That's an actual movement. You can Google it right now, right? They had it down here where I was living at. I'm talking about like thousands of people showed up, right? Was marching and all that. So it says a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able, right? For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, and the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. And a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. Absolutely. The Heavenly Father is going to destroy this place, man. All right? And starting off with what? It's being divided, man. It's structure. It's unity. Ain't gonna be none of that, man. The Heavenly Father, and He turning it up, man. And He's doing it for our sakes. So that's why all we got to do is continue to what? Stay faithful and believing, man. And as long as we stay faithful and believing, hey, this place we're gonna continue to get stronger and stronger. Matter of fact, let me get this real quick in the book of Proverbs, right? Because this shows exactly what I'm saying through the Spirit. The Heavenly Father has me saying through the Spirit, right? Proverbs. Phone acting weird. Proverbs chapter 4 and verse 18. But the path of the just is as the shining light that shineth more and more unto the perfect day. So the path of the just, right? So our path is going to continue to get brighter and brighter and brighter into the perfect day. The way of the wicked is as darkness. They know not at what they stumble. So, man, they going to continue to what? To wax worse and worse, keep falling, keep tripping, trying to get back up and keep falling. You see, but us, the path is going to be clear, man. It's going to be illuminated. And we're going to continue to what? Shine brighter and brighter, man. Right? Because, hey, as long as we walking on that straight and narrow path, man, the Heavenly Father, hey, he's for our turn. And as long as the Heavenly Father's for our turn, right, that means that what? Anybody that comes up against us, which America is what? Against us, man, right? Against the nation of Israel. And when I say nation of Israel, I'm talking about you so-called blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans, you true descendants of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, not those false Jews, man, over there in the land of Israel right now. Not them fake, man, them fake condom hats, man, right? Bombing little children and whatnot. We're not talking about those wicked people living over there in the land of Israel, right? We talking about we're the real Jews, right? The real Israelites, the sons and daughters of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, right? So as long as we continue to what? Operate in the laws, statutes, and commandments and follow Torah, right? Follow the Torah, right? Keep the law, statutes, and commandments that the Heavenly Father has given it to us, and to our ancestors. Hey, we gonna be good, man, right? Let's get that in the book of Romans, right? Let's get that in the book of Romans, man. And see, people have to understand, right? That's our power, man, right? That's our power, man. That's how we stay strong. And you read that also in the book of Judith as well. When many nations used to come up against us and we were keeping the law, statutes, and commandments of the Heavenly Father, they couldn't prosper against us, man. But the only time they prospered against us is when we rebelled against the Lord, man, right? Which really was stupid in itself, right? Romans chapter 8 and verse 28, and we know that all things work together for the good of them that love the Heavenly Father, to them who are called according to his purpose. And what is his purpose? Read Ecclesiastes 12 and 13, for let's hear the conclusion of the whole matter. A fear the Heavenly Father and keep his commandments, man. That's his purpose, man. That's his purpose for us, right? Verse 31, let's get that. What shall we say then to these things? If the Heavenly Father be for us, who can be against us? Point blank, period. That's simple, right? Easy to be understood. But man, hey, see, that's the thing. The Heavenly Father is not for America. The Heavenly Father is against America. And that's why you see everything happening here, man. Hey, you go back to the early 1900s and the early 2000s and the 1980s. Hey, America was booming and bustling, man. Everybody wanted to come here. But now, hey, you got tourism to America declining. People want to go to other places. People in America want to go leave and go to other places, man. You'll see people over here in America taking pay cuts just to work a remote job to go live in a foreign country where the cost of living is better. The cost of living is better, and the quality of life is better in other countries, man. Right? You could be making $100,000 a year. Some people may take a pay cut to $25 an hour. You see what I'm saying? And then go live in another country and ball out. Right? Stress free. Food is better. Right? Losing weight from eating food, good food, natural food. Come on, man. It's a win-win, right? So let's get this 2 Ezra chapter 9 verse 1. And he answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs past, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world in which he made. And that's exactly what's happening now. The Lord, he's showing us that what? He's giving us signs. So that way the righteous can see these different signs and make sure what? We're spiritually prepared for the arrival of Adonai Yahweh Shah HaMashiach, right? So to make sure we're ready when he comes. So it says, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world in which he made. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, is that not what's happening? Supposedly in the greatest country in the world, everybody's rebelling. There's all these protests. Men and women are unhappy. The dating scene is cooked, right? That's what you hear people saying, right? The food is polluted. The children aren't learning anything in schools. They're pushing homosexuality to our children, right? Right. The food that we eat has nothing but GMO and chemicals, and that in other countries are illegal for them to even produce those chemicals in that country. But they're feeding it to their own people, man. The air is polluted. The air quality over here is polluted. The minds of these people. America has some of the most rudest people on earth, the most rudest and the most prideful people on earth. You walk into a building, people don't even say hello. People get offended when you speak to them, right? This place is a godless nation, man. It's a godless nation, America, and that's why the Heavenly Father has to destroy this place with fire, man. And that's exactly what's coming. That's exactly what's coming, man. Right? So it says, "Then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning." Right? And so that's the point, man. Right? And the only people that are going to be preserved during these times are the people that what, man? That the Heavenly Father, has required before their birth to fear Him, man. Right? It says, verse 8. Let's start at verse 7. It says, "And everyone that shall be saved and shall be able to escape by his works and by faith." So you got to have faith and you got to have works. Because when you read the book of James, can you have faith without works? Faith without works is dead. You can say you believe, but if you're not doing nothing, then it's pointless, right? But the fact of the matter is you got to believe and you have to do. So you got to, so by your faith and by your works, right? It says that what? Shall be able to escape by his works and by faith whereby ye have believed. Shall be preserved from the said perils, and shall see my salvation in my land and within my borders. For I sanctified them for me from the beginning. So before we even, in our mother's wombs, like it says in the book of Jeremiah, let's get that real quick. And then I want to get what are some of those perils that are talked about that we're going to be preserved from. I don't want to desire we be those sincere-hearted true believers. Jeremiah chapter 1 and verse 5, "Before I have formed thee in the belly, I knew thee. And before thou camest forth out of the womb, I sanctified thee and I ordained thee." Ordains means to choose. It says, and before thou camest forth out of the womb, I sanctified thee, and I ordained thee a prophet unto the nations. And that's us, man. That's us, and that's why we can't be afraid. We gotta continue to speak these words, man. Right? Verse 8, it says, "Be not afraid of their faces, for I am with thee to deliver thee, saith the Heavenly Father." Right? So that's the point, man. It says, "Then the Heavenly Father put forth his hand and touched my mouth. And the Heavenly Father Yahweh said unto me, Behold, I have put my words in thy mouth." This is speaking to Jeremiah, but we also come in that same lot, man. Right? Because I don't want to desire we were the 144,000 or the elect, man. Hey, we're just like Jeremiah. We were made before we even conceived in our mother's wombs. It was already preordained and predestined for us to believe, man. Right? Like it says in 1 Corinthians, the 14th chapter, the 32nd verse, it says, "The souls of the prophets are subject unto the prophets." So meaning that what? If you was a believer in your past life, you coming back as a believer in this life, man. Right? And so, and being as a believer, like you're going to show your faith by your works, man. Right? Both. You're going to have faith where you're going to have faith and you're going to have works. And by doing so, like it says in the book of 2 Ezra, the 9th chapter, well, we're going to be preserved from these sad pearls. And what are some of the pearls that's going to happen? Hey, many people in the world going to perish or what, man? Right? 2 Ezra chapter 16. Let's get that. And start at verse 18, right? It says, "The beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars, and the power shall stand in fear, and the beginning of evils. What shall I do when these evils shall come? Behold, famine, plague, and tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for a minute." So that's the thing, man. The Heavenly Father, he's going to destroy this place, and he's going to subject many people to what? To famine. Verse 22, it says, "For many of them that dwell upon earth shall perish of famine." So many, right? And it says, "And the other that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy." And you have to read this, right? 2 Ezra 8. So it says many, right? But look, check this out too. 2 Ezra chapter 8 and verse 3. "There be many created, but few shall be saved." And we want to be amongst those few that shall not perish of famine, right? Because we understand that those things weren't even created for us, right? Those things like famine wasn't even created for us, man, right? And because you even see times when our forefathers, man, during the times of famine in great land like Elijah, the Heavenly Father supplied food, water, made the ravens feed Elijah, sent angels to feed Elijah, sent another brother to feed Daniel in the lion's den. Let's get this. Sirach chapter 40 and verse 9. Death, bloodshed, strife, sword, calamities, and famine, tribulation, and a scourge. These things are created for the wicked, and for their sakes came the flood. So it's not made for us, man. So we don't got to worry about these things. But this is what's coming, right? It says, let me get this in the NLT, Lamentations chapter 4 and verse 9. It says what? It says, those killed by the sword are better off than those who die of hunger, starving. They waste away for lack of food from the fields. Tender-hearted women have cooked their own children. They have eaten them to survive the siege. And that's exactly what's coming again, man. When you read in the time of, what was that time? Samaria. I believe it was the northern kingdom, if I'm not mistaken. It was a siege upon the land at that time, and the pitiful women have sodden their own children. It says, man, let us eat your son today, and we'll eat my son tomorrow, right? Hey, that's what was happening. They was eating their own children. That's how bad it got. It turned to cannibalism, and that's what's coming to here in America, man. But the Heavenly Father, hey, He's gonna bless us that what, man, and we're gonna have abundance. We're gonna have plenty of food to eat, right? While everybody else that denied the Lord, that went up against the Heavenly Father Yahweh, and forsook the name of Yahweh Shah, right? Who spoke evil of Yahweh Shah. And what's going to happen, man? And they're going to suffer, man. Right? Isaiah chapter 65 and verse 12. Therefore will I number you to the sword, and ye shall all bow down to the slaughter. Because when I called, ye did not answer. When I spake, ye did not hear. But did evil before my eyes, and did choose that wherein I delighted not. Therefore thus saith the Lord Yahweh, behold, my servant shall eat, but ye shall be hungry. Behold, my servant shall drink, but ye shall be thirsty. Behold, my servant shall rejoice, but ye shall be ashamed. Behold, my servant shall sing for joy of heart, but ye shall cry for sorrow of heart, and shall howl of vexation of spirit. So they're going to be in a bitter pain, man. So, man, hey, look, that's what's coming to America, man. A great destruction, famine, and, man, America's cooked, man. America's cooked. So, yeah, I don't rock this out. You sincere-hearted true believers were edified, exhorted, and comforted with this message. And, I want to give all glory, honor, and praise unto my power, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah. And I say shalom to all you sincere-hearted true believers. May y'all continue to keep fighting and keep pushing. Shalom.